What should the future of conferencing and eventing look like between now and 2030? Well, for me, it's kind of intriguing. Whether you're live, virtual, or even hybrid, what we need to do is start to fuel, ignite, and accelerate what we do at conferences and events like never before. Let's face it, basically, delegates were bored senseless in the old world of conferencing. And you and I both know that because we've watched delegates fill up the back rows of the venue first every single time. What we need to do is urgently think about reading the room and taking stock of what's happening in the world of modern communication. Conferencing today has got to be developed in a fresh light. We're almost a combination of things like Netflix on the one hand and CNN on the other. Entertainment should be a new watchword for us. Taking advantage of best-in-use technologies, creating teaser-style, short-based, TikTok-length video clips, planning revitalized agendas, and adopting pre-event audience engagement tools, as well as a whole host of other ideas, help you to fuel delegate excitement about coming into their next conference or event. Once they're at the conference, though, how do we best ignite their interest and get their excitement rolling all over again? How do we overcome that desire for people to fill up and gravitate towards those back rows? What we've got to think about is why we default to typical agenda planning, 45-minute speech agenda slots. I mean, just think about this. An average Netflix documentary today with a cast of hundreds and a budget of millions only runs to 42 minutes, and we're competing with that. Let's think about comfort breaks. Why are we offering 30-minute comfort breaks in a typical morning and afternoon session? We know that 30 minutes is never enough time for delegates to leave the room, head to the restroom, grab a drink, network, and return. You know, it's almost that conference organizers talk about herding kittens to get delegates back into the room. We've got to think about what we do as well to manage stage time. How can we break down monologues from stage and turn the time that we're using at events into a more dialogue-orientated session? We've got to think about using the wisdom of the audience to work with. Remember, this is not a religious service. We don't want to preach to people. We'd like them to be involved. And when an event or conference is over and done and dusted, instead of just lowering the banners and adding up the barbells, I think it's important, in fact, it's essential that we move into an extension of an accelerated sense of learning from the event itself. Why don't we, at the event, create short-based videos summarizing the keynote speakers and the content? We could use that in little clips to send to the delegates beyond the event itself. We can even create reports of all the data that's being generated from the event into infographic documents. A whole host of items and things can be developed around an event within the overall confines of your existing budget. We can make modern 21st century conferencing or events pop and literally stand out. As an experienced conference presenter and facilitator on change, I'd like you to do just that and help you plan for your next conference. Let's have a chat about what we can do to take your event to the next level. For me, it's got to be about delivering more than expected and exceeding the usual standards. Contact me either through my website or send me an email. Let's start the process of talking, because I'd love to have a conversation with you about improving your overall events and conferences.